Imagine a young boy told he was too addled to learn, who would grow to hold over 1,000 patents and fundamentally reshape how humanity lives, works, and connects across the globe. He did not rely on sudden flashes of genius or solitary brilliance. Instead, he built an industrial laboratory where systematic experimentation, relentless iteration, and collaborative problem-solving turned persistent curiosity into world-changing innovation. This is the extraordinary reality of a man whose name became synonymous with invention itself, proving that true progress emerges not from waiting for inspiration, but from the disciplined willingness to fail forward until success emerges. His journey from a modest Midwestern childhood to the pinnacle of global technological influence is a masterclass in entrepreneurial vision, demonstrating that the most transformative ideas often require not just creativity, but organization, persistence, and an unwavering belief that every problem has a solution waiting to be discovered. The genesis of this unparalleled inventive phenomenon began in the winter of 1847 in the small, industrious town of Milan, Ohio. Born Thomas Alva Edison into a family of modest means, but strong intellectual values, his early environment was defined by curiosity, self-reliance, and a deep appreciation for practical knowledge. His mother, a former school teacher, took charge of his education after a schoolmaster labeled him addled and difficult to instruct, nurturing his natural inquisitiveness through literature, history, and hands-on experimentation. Rather than following a conventional academic path, he educated himself through voracious reading, establishing a home laboratory in his family's basement where he conducted chemical experiments, built telegraph equipment, and explored the emerging principles of electricity and mechanics. This self-directed learning cultivated a problem-solving mindset that prioritized tangible results over theoretical abstraction, a philosophy that would later define his approach to innovation and distinguish him from contemporaries who worked primarily within academic institutions. His transition from a curious teenager to a professional inventor occurred through a series of strategic apprenticeships and entrepreneurial ventures that refined his technical skills and business acumen. As a young telegraph operator during the Civil War era, he gained intimate familiarity with electrical systems, signal transmission, and the practical challenges of long-distance communication. He filed his first patent at the age of 21 for an electrochemical vote recorder, a device that taught him a crucial lesson about innovation. Technical ingenuity alone was insufficient without market demand and user acceptance. Rather than viewing this early setback as a failure, he redirected his focus toward inventions with clear commercial applications, developing improved stock tickers, multiplex telegraph systems, and acoustic technologies that generated revenue while expanding his technical expertise. This pragmatic approach to invention, balancing creative exploration with economic viability, became a hallmark of his career and enabled him to fund increasingly ambitious research projects without relying on external patronage. The defining breakthrough of his early career arrived in the late 1870s with the development of a practical incandescent light bulb, a challenge that had confounded scientists and inventors for decades. Rather than claiming to have invented the first electric light, he focused on creating a commercially viable system that included durable filaments, efficient power distribution, and affordable manufacturing processes. His Menlo Park laboratory, often described as the world's first industrial research facility, brought together engineers, chemists, and machinists who worked collaboratively under his direction to test thousands of filament materials, refine vacuum techniques, and optimize electrical components. The successful demonstration of a long-lasting carbon filament bulb in 1879 marked not merely a technical achievement, but the birth of a new infrastructure for modern life. He understood that widespread adoption required more than a functional product. It demanded a complete ecosystem of generation, transmission, and end-use applications. So he simultaneously developed power stations, distribution networks, and consumer fixtures that made electric lighting accessible to homes, businesses, and public spaces. Beyond illumination, his inventive output spanned multiple domains that collectively transformed daily life across the industrialized world. He pioneered the phonograph, a device that captured and reproduced sound for the first time in human history, creating entirely new possibilities for entertainment, education, and archival preservation. He refined motion picture technology, developing cameras, projection systems, and film formats that laid the groundwork for the global cinema industry. He improved battery storage, cement production, mining techniques, and countless other industrial processes, often entering fields where existing solutions were inefficient or obsolete. His approach to innovation was characterized by systematic documentation, iterative prototyping, and a willingness to pursue parallel development paths until the most promising solution emerged. He maintained detailed notebooks recording observations, hypotheses, and experimental results, establishing a methodology that anticipated modern research and development practices, and influenced how technological innovation would be organized throughout the 20th century. His business philosophy was equally influential, as he recognized that invention without commercialization would limit societal impact. He founded multiple companies to manufacture and distribute his technologies, negotiated licensing agreements, and defended his intellectual property through strategic legal action when necessary. He cultivated relationships with investors, industrial partners, and government agencies, understanding that large-scale innovation required financial resources, production capacity, and regulatory support. His Menlo Park and later West Orange laboratories became models for corporate research facilities, demonstrating that sustained innovation could be institutionalized rather than left to individual genius alone. He mentored younger engineers and inventors, sharing his methods for problem decomposition, experimental design, and persistence through failure, thereby extending his influence beyond his own patents to shape the practices of subsequent generations of innovators. Despite his monumental achievements, his career was not without controversy or competitive conflict. His advocacy for direct current electrical systems placed him in opposition to proponents of alternating current, leading to a highly publicized rivalry that involved technical debates, marketing campaigns, and even public demonstrations designed to highlight perceived safety differences. While alternating current ultimately became the standard for long-distance power transmission, Edison's contributions to electrical infrastructure, safety standards, and consumer adoption remained foundational to the electrification of modern society. He also faced criticism for his approach to credit and collaboration, with some contemporaries arguing that he received disproportionate recognition for work conducted by team members. These debates reflected broader questions about innovation, attribution, and the complex dynamics of collaborative invention, questions that remain relevant in contemporary discussions of intellectual property and technological development. His personal life reflected the same intensity and focus that characterized his professional work. He married twice and raised children while maintaining an extraordinary work schedule that often exceeded 100 hours per week. He viewed rest and leisure as secondary to productive activity, famously describing genius as 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. His residences incorporated his latest inventions, serving as living laboratories where new technologies could be tested in real-world conditions. He maintained a lifelong commitment to self-education, continuously expanding his knowledge of chemistry, physics, botany, and industrial processes to inform his inventive work. Despite accumulating significant wealth, he lived relatively modestly, reinvesting earnings into new ventures and philanthropic initiatives focused on education, scientific research, and community development. The later years of his career were marked by continued productivity alongside increasing recognition as a national and global icon of innovation. He received numerous awards, honorary degrees, and public honors that celebrated his contributions to technological progress and economic development. He remained actively involved in research and development well into his 70s, exploring synthetic materials, agricultural applications, and defense technologies in response to emerging societal needs. His final patents addressed challenges ranging from rubber production to mineral extraction, demonstrating that his inventive curiosity never diminished even as his physical energy gradually declined. He passed away in 1931, leaving behind a legacy of over 1,000 patents, multiple transformative industries, and a methodological framework for innovation that continues to influence research organizations, technology companies, and entrepreneurial ventures worldwide. The enduring impact of his work extends far beyond individual inventions, fundamentally establishing the model for modern technological development and commercialization. He demonstrated that systematic research, collaborative teamwork, and market-oriented design could accelerate the pace of innovation and broaden its societal benefits. His approach to problem-solving, emphasizing iteration, documentation, and practical application, became foundational to engineering education and industrial research practices. The institutions he helped create, from corporate laboratories to utility companies, shaped the infrastructure of 20th-century life and enabled subsequent waves of technological advancement in computing, communications, and sustainable energy. From the home laboratory of his Ohio childhood to the industrial research complexes that bore his name, his journey remains a profound testament to the power of persistent curiosity, disciplined experimentation, and the conviction that human ingenuity, when properly organized, can solve even the most daunting challenges. He did not merely invent devices, he engineered a system for continuous innovation, leaving behind a legacy of practical brilliance, entrepreneurial vision, and transformative impact that continues to inspire those who believe that the future is built by those willing to work relentlessly toward a better tomorrow.